Everyone is well. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yam Ahur Adyam Purusham Sahasrangri Guru Bhavakam Yadravishva Ime Loka Savikasham Ta Asate.
Translation. The Purusha incarnation lying on the casual ocean is called the original Purusha in the material creations, and in his Virat form, in whom all the planets and their inhabitants live, he has many thousands of legs and hands.
Yasmin Dasha Vidha Prana Sendriyarthendriyastrivrit Payerito Yato Varnas Tatye Bhutirvadasvana.
O great Brahmana, you have told me that the gigantic Virat form and his senses, sense objects, and 10 kinds of life air exist with 3 kinds of life vigor. Now, if you will kindly explain to me the different powers of the specific divisions.
Yadra Putresha Pautresha Natribhi Saha Gotrajay Prajavichitra Kritaya Asanyabhir Idam Tatam.
O my Lord, I think that the process manifest in the forms of sons, grandsons, and family members has spread all over the universe in different varieties and species.
Prajapatinam Sapatish Shaktipekan Prajapatin Sargam Shivan Sargam Sha Manun Manvantaradhipan.
O learned Brahmana, please describe how the leader of all the demigods, namely the Prajapati Brahma, decided to establish the various Manus, the heads of the ages. Please describe the Manus also, and please describe the descendants of those Manus.
Uparyadhaschaye Loka Bhumirnitarat Majasate Tisham Stamstham Pramanam Cha Bhurlokasya Cha Varanaya.
O son of Mitra, kindly describe how the planets are situated above the earth as well as underneath it. And also please mention their measurements as well as that of the earthly planets.
Riyam Manushadevanam Se Risripatatrinam Vadana Sarga Samyoham Garbhasveda Dijo Dham.
Also, please describe the living beings under different classifications: subhumans, humans, those born of the embryo, those born of perspiration, those who are twice born, birds, and the plants and vegetables. Kindly describe their generations and subdivisions also.
Gunavatarar Vishvasya Sargas Ityapya Yashrayam Srijata Shrinivasasya Yachakshvodara Vikramam.
Please also describe the incarnations of the material modes of nature: Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. And please describe the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his magnanimous activities.
Varnashrama Vighagamsha Prapashila Svabhavata Rishinam Janma Karmani Vedasya Cha Vikarshanam.
O great sage, kindly describe the divisions and orders of human society in terms of symptoms, behavior, and the characteristics of mental equilibrium and sense control. Please describe the births of the great sages and the categorical divisions of the Vedas.
Yagyasya Cha Vitanani Yogasya Cha Padha Prabho Vikramyasya Cha Sakyasya Tantram Vabhagavat. Can we mute someone, please? Tantram Shabhagavat Smritam.
Please also describe the expansions of different sacrifices and the paths of mystic powers, analytical study of knowledge, and devotional service, all with their respective regulations.
Pashandapatha Vaishamyam Pratilomani Veshanam Jivasya gatayo yasha yavatirguna karmacha.
Please also describe the imperfections and contradictions of the faithless atheists, the situation of crossbreeding, and the movements of the living entities in various species of life according to their particular modes of nature and work.
Paramartha kama mokshanam nimitanya virodhata vartaya dandanitescha shrutasya cha vidhem pridhak.
You may also describe the non contradictory causes of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation, and also the different means of livelihood and different processes of law and order, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures.
Shadhasya cha vidhem brahman Vitrinam sargam eva cha grahana kshatra taranam kalavayava samstitim.
Please also explain the regulations for offering respects to the forefathers, the creation of the Pitruloka, the time schedule in the planets, stars, and luminaries, and their respective situations.
Tanasya tapasovate yacheshta purtayo phalam pravasasthasya yodharmo yashapam sautapadim.
Please also describe the furtive results of charity and penance and of digging reservoirs of water. Please describe the situation of persons who are away from home and also the duty of a man in an awkward position.
Inava bhagavam sishyat dharmayo nirjanardana samprasidati vayesham etatokhyadine anagha.
O sinless one, because the personality of Godhead, the controller of all living entities, is the father of all religion and all those who are candidates for religious activities, kindly describe how he can be completely satisfied.
Anuvratanam shishyanam putranam shadvijotama anaprishtam api bruyur guravo dinavatsalah.
O best among the Brahmanas, those who are spiritual masters are very kind to the needy. They are always kind to their followers, disciples, and sons, and without being asked by them, the spiritual master describes all that is knowledge.
Tatvanam bhagavam stesham katidha pratisankramaha tatremam ka upasiram kayusvet anusherate.
Please describe how many dissolutions there are for the elements of material nature, and who survives after the dissolutions to serve the Lord while he is asleep.
Purushasya cha samsthanam swarupam va parasya cha yanam cha naigamam yattat guru shishya prayojanam.
What are the truths regarding the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What are their identities? What are the specific values in the knowledge of the Vedas? And what are the necessities for the spiritual master and his disciples?
Dimitanyechatasyaha Raktanyanaghasuribihi Svato Gyanam Kutapum Sam Bhaktirvairagyam Evava.
Spotless devotees of the Lord have mentioned the source of such knowledge. How could one have knowledge of devotional service and detachment without the help of such devotees?
Etan me prichata prashnan Harer Karma Vivetsaya Bruhi me Alyasya Mitratvat Ajaya Nashta Chakshushaha.
My dear sage, I have put all these questions before you with a view to knowing the pastimes of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the friend of all, so kindly describe them for all those who have lost their vision.
Sarve Vedashta Yagyashta Tapodanani Chanagha Jivabhaya Pradhanasya Nakurviran Kalam Atim.
O spotless one, your answers to all these questions will grant immunity from all material miseries. Such charity is greater than all Vedic charities, sacrifices, penances, etc.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Seidhama Prishta Purana Kalpaha Kuru Pradhanena Modi Pradhanaha Pravridha Harisho Bhagavat Katyayam Sanshodhitastam Prahasan Ivaha.
Sri
Thank you so
Sukadev,
much. Oh, sorry.
Sri Sukadev Goswami said, thus the chief of the sages, who was always enthusiastic about describing topics regarding the personality of Godhead. Mataji, I've lost the text. Sorry. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, thus the chief of the sages, who was always enthusiastic about describing topics regarding the personality of Godhead, began to narrate the descriptive explanation of the Puranas, being so infused by Vidura. He was very much enlivened by speaking on the transcendental activities of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for allowing to serve you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dear devotees, thank you very much for your beautiful recitations, Pati Mataji and Pandava Arjuna Prabhu. I'm just looking at the participants list. I can't seem to see Shyam Hari Prabhuji's name in the list. So I guess he'll be joining us a bit later. In the meantime, while waiting for Prabhuji to join us, I'll recite the Manglacharan prayer. You can join me behind muted mics. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna Shyam Hari Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Shri Mataji. Thank you. Share my screen. So many screens. Here we are. So, Shri Mataji, thank you. You corrected. So we're going to discuss from verse 39 till 42. So 39, 40, 41, 42, 4 verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयते So verse number 39. This is the final 4 verses of the 7th chapter entitled Further Inquiries by Vidura. And then the next session will be summarizing the 7th chapter. That will happen on Wednesday probably. So verse number 39. Nimittani cha tasyeha praktanye anagasuribhi sato jnanam kuta pumsam bhakti vairagyam eva. Synonyms. This translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. So, toward Nimittani, the source of knowledge, cha also tasya, of such knowledge, iha, in this world, Roktani, mentioned, Anagha, spotless, Suribhi, by devotees, Swataha, self-sufficient, Jnanam, knowledge, Kutaha, how, Pumsham, of the living entity, Bhakti, devotional service, Vairagyam, detachment, eva, certainly, also translation. Spotless devotees of the Lord have mentioned the source of such knowledge. How could one have knowledge of devotional service and detachment without the help of such devotees? So this has a relationship to the previous verse. I'll just read text 38. So Vidura is asking many questions, and this is the last question. What are the truths regarding the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What are their identities? What are the specific values in the knowledge in the Vedas? And what are the necessities for the spiritual master and his disciples? So after all, asking many questions, he's also come to the point of what are the necessities for the spiritual master and his disciples. Because the Vedic knowledge has to come descending. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarisya vibhu. So from spiritual master to the disciple, then disciple becomes spiritual master, then again passes the knowledge to his disciple. Actually, the parampara goes on. So he's saying, what are the necessities for those spiritual master and disciples? And he further clarifies, spotless devotees of the knowledge, spotless devotees of the Lord have mentioned the source of such knowledge. How could one have knowledge of devotional service and detachment without the help of such devotees? And this is all the parampara that's being highlighted here. These are the spotless devotees coming in parampara from the Lord himself, that only they are the source of knowledge. They are the such source of knowledge. And there is no other source of knowledge. So we'll discuss this, read the purport and discuss a little bit, and we carry on discussing. So we will continue until 8:35 or so. So there are, purport by Srila Prabhupada, there are many inexperienced persons who advocate self-realization without the help of a spiritual master. They decry the necessity of the spiritual master and try themselves to take his place by propagating the theory that a spiritual master is not necessary. So it just reminds me of one pastime, Srila Prabhupada's pastime. So someone had written a book, You Don't Need a Guru. And Prabhupada's disciples, they went to Prabhupada and they said, look, Prabhupada, this person has written this book. You don't need a guru. Prabhupada immediately picked up the point, was so intelligent. Said, now he's becoming your guru to tell you that you don't need a guru. Amazing. So unless you have knowledge from that person that you don't need a guru, then, it contradicts itself. It's a beautiful point. So, but there are many people in this world will come to the point. Later on, we'll discuss more. Srimad Bhagavatam, however, does not approve this viewpoint. Even the great transcendental scholar Vyasadeva had need of a spiritual master. And under the instruction of his spiritual master, Narad, he prepared this sublime literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. Even Lord Chaitanya, although he is Krishna himself, accepted a spiritual master. Even Lord Krishna accepted a spiritual master, Sandipani Muni, in order to be enlightened. And all the acharyas and saints of the world had spiritual masters. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna accepted Lord Krishna as his spiritual master, although there was no necessity for such a formal declaration. So, in all cases, there is no question about the necessity of accepting a spiritual master. The only stipulation is that the spiritual master should be bona fide. That is, the spiritual master must be in the proper chain of disciplic succession called the Parampara system. Suris are great scholars, but they will not always be anaga or spotless. The anaga Suri is one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Those who are not pure devotees of the Lord or want to be an equal level with him, want to be on an equal level with him, are not anaga Suri. This is meant because it's mentioned in the verse here. Proktani anaga Suri bhi. They are the great scholars and pure devotees. Pure devotees have prepared many such books of knowledge on the basis of authorized scriptures. Srila Rupa Goswami and his assistants, under the instructions of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, have all written various literatures for the guidance of prospective devotees. And anyone who is very serious about raising himself to the standard of pure devotee of the Lord must take advantage of those literatures. So as Srila Prabhupada himself, coming the Parampara, has written this great literature that we are all able to read. And all of us prospective devotees, for our guidance, Prabhupada has made it so easy for us to access this knowledge, made it more accessible. I was discussing with one of the Prabhupada disciples, like how Srila Prabhupada's purports have made it accessible to us, Srimad Bhagavatam, with so many current situation, current problems. We can all understand, relate to what's going on here. And also in simple language, English language, which most of us now understand. And then also at the same time, Prabhupada is quoting so many shastras, so many different Puranas, Upanishads, everywhere. He was Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so but the necessity of spiritual master is the point to discuss here. I mean, there are many, when it comes to spiritual knowledge, I'm sure many of us would have had this experience. Many people, not everyone, but instant reply, more so in India or Indians, wherever they are. Oh, I already know this. I've already heard this from my grandfather. My grandmother used to always do this. I've heard this. And so, some of the, I know I have a Bhagavad Gita. My father had one. And I know Krishna, who Krishna is. Well, some people even say that I've seen Krishna. Some people will say I'm the same as Krishna. I am Krishna, someone will say. You'll see this, all those people who have not fully understood the knowledge in the correct parampara, they will self-proclaim themselves as the teachers. But that does not really work. It's impossible. Even in the schools, as children, they have to go to there's a school to learn. And as the children get older, they go to the A level, they go to university, or they post graduation, or even a PhD. Whoever, you have to always do under a teacher, guidance of a teacher. So there is no such evidence or precedence that someone has just learned without any teacher. Even then, when it comes to spiritual knowledge, people say that there is no need of a teacher. That's purely a ego. This is like false ego, that how can someone else be more knowledgeable than me? And some people will say the knowledge is already there inside. There is no need of anyone. I already there. Whenever I like, it will just come out. It's just a matter of time. And now I don't like it, but when I like it, I can just vomit myself. Some people have that kind. So all those varieties, even though, it is so evident. People spend hundreds of thousands of pounds. Maybe in this country, there's little education, the university is not as much, but in America, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. How many years, by the time a student has completed his post-graduation master's, he would be probably, or she would be, spending $500,000, who knows, depending on where they're studying. So it's very significant amount of expenses being put. But even the expense is also not for the purpose of any knowledge. Knowledge means not just the skill, learn this engineering or become this doctor or heal this, or solve this problem, that problem, material problem. That no one is teaching the knowledge of the soul. Prabhupada says no university is teaching knowledge of the soul. Yeah, but the soul knowledge is only received by the Guru and Krishna. This very famous verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada would always quote, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. So, what's interesting there is Brahmanda Brahmite. So, we have short memory, we forget in the previous lives or many lives before where we have traveled, what journey we have gone through. We forget. So every time a child takes birth, all his material knowledge is lost, gone. Child has to learn from basic, again, go to the school, learn ABC, alphabet, whichever language, and then start from there. And even also what type of body they might have had previously, what they have suffered or enjoyed, all that is also gone. There's no memory left. And that way, the soul is going around in the Brahmand. Brahmand is the whole universe or multiple universes. There are millions of universes is coming out of the pores of Mahavishnu. Who knows how many of the universes we have traveled. But how much knowledge or how much memory is left? There's hardly any memory left. Because every time we take birth, we identify ourselves with that body and start functioning with that body as if we are the body. And then, then in the end, we leave the body, start a new body, the cycle goes on and on. So this is why this Brahmanda Brahmite has been quoted. Because our Shastra knows how soul travels through the various journey. That's why it means something, because we are how many millions, how many kalpas have we all gone through this knowledge before? How many years of the earthly years mean one day of Brahma, and it goes in trillions of years. And how many such kalpas, how many such, how many times you've gone back into the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, as we were studying previously in the 5th chapter of this canto. We'll again study again probably in the next chapters. All the Sarga Visarga, primary creation, secondary creation, how many times have been created second time, secondarily. The created and we never created, but the body is created. Yeah. So all those Brahmanda we have forgotten. And we keep thinking that this is it, this is my only life. Some religions even have this saying that this is only one life. One life, then you either go to heaven or you go to hell. That's it. Nothing you've done in the past and nothing that you will be able to do after this life. Whatever you can do is now. In one sense, it makes sense. But it's just conceptually, logically, it's completely incorrect. That's why our scriptures explain this Brahmanda Brahmite. So even if we just sometimes in our free time just meditate on this point, that what does it mean? How many trillions of lifetimes? What I would have not done? How many different, in all the 14 different planetary systems we would have traveled, sometime as Devata, sometime as Asura, sometime in the Patal Loka, sometime in the heavenly planets. who knows in what different bodies we have traveled. जैसे ब्रह्मांड भ्रमित है कोना भाग्यवान जीव means by great fortune one soul may happen what? Guru Krishna Prasad. Prasad means mercy. Mercy of Guru and Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasad by Bhakti Lata Beej. Again, what is Bhagyavan becomes not by Bhagyavan. What is the definition of Bhagyavan? Means lucky. It means he's received the mercy of Bhakti Lata Beej, a seed of Bhakti. And Lata is what? Like a creeper. What is the nature of creeper? Creeper is dependent on the bigger tree. So he's always not self. And that's why Bhakti Lata Bij is a creeper. So we depend on our parampara, on our Guru Gans, Acharyas, what they've given us in form of these scriptures, books, and various other, artifacts. And also they keep coming. We have so many Siksha Gurus, they keep coming. So this is what it is. So without that Guru Krishna Prasad, this Bhakti Lata is not to be received. It's not possible. So Prabhupada, many places it is. Bhagavad Gita all the Vidhi Pranipatena Pari Prashnena Sevaya. Upadekshantite Jnanam Jnanas Tattva Darshana. Shri Krishna is also explaining the same thing. We have to serve and inquire humbly. Pari Prashnena Pranipatena. Then that person who has received the knowledge in that parampara will give you the knowledge. Same 4th chapter only is explaining in that. Yeah. And so many times other Prabhupada explained Tad Vijnanatham Sargurum Avigachet. He also quotes this from one of the Upanishads. Vijnanartham means to get the knowledge or self-realized knowledge. Sargurum eva abhigachet. He should go to a guru certainly. This is a clarity. With certainty, you have to go to a guru. Without guru, there is no such knowledge. This is such a huge thing, and we have to, by again the whole process of Diksha and Siksha has been, very deeply explained, and we keep learning from devotees how this process works and how it is so important to take shelter of a spiritual master. There's a course also being run in the manner for Guru Disciple course. So, excuse me. How to build that relationship, what it means in detail, because everyone who is, a lot of you are probably already initiated. I'm not seeing any names at the moment, but yeah, it's always there. So the knowledge. Otherwise, if again, thanks to Srila Prabhupada that we have been introduced to this process. Some of us are born in the West, and we've not even seen anything like this existing apart from India. We don't know anything like this that exists. As such, systematically, the knowledge is handed over, and the process of teaching goes on. And Prabhupada's books are going to be here for 10,000 years, being distributed profusely, and knowledge made available. So this is where the knowledge is coming from. So this is the share screen for the next one. Then verse number 39. The 39. Yeah, how could such knowledge of devotional service and detachment without help of such devotees, both even asking. Devotional service as well as he's saying detachment also, because detachment could be very misunderstood. Detachment is not like a Prabhupada used to say that there are many poor people in India. A poor person not eating for a while does not mean he's detached. Yes, so that cannot be called detachment. Even by that definition, there will be significant population of some of the countries will be detached with sannyasis because they're not eating very nicely or living very nicely. It's not about that. It's about the not having the desire of the material desire, not just detachment from the material desires by attachment to service to Krishna. That is the true detachment. Another important point Srila Prabhupada made here is anaga or spotless. Ana means makes an opposite. Aga means who is sin. Anaga is a spotless or sinless. Is also used in Bhagavad Gita a lot of time. This particular name, this word. So go to the next verse. Etan me pritchata prashnan hare karma vivitsaya ruhi me agnesya mitratvad ajaya nashta chakshusha. Synonyms. Etan, all these may my pritchata of one who inquires. Prashnan, questions, Harehe, of the Supreme Lord, Karma, pastimes, Vivitsaya, desiring to know, Ruhi, kindly describe, may unto me, Adnasya, of one who is ignorant, Mitratvat, because of friendship, Ajaya, by external energy, Nashta Chakshushaha, those who have lost their vision. Translation. My dear sage, I put all these questions before you with a view to knowing the pastimes of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the friend of all, so kindly describe them for all those who have lost their vision. Vidura put forward many varieties of questions with a view to understanding the principles of transcendental loving service to the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 241, 241 is what? Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana Bahushaka Inantascha Buddhi Vyavasaya Nam. This is a famous verse we can discuss later. This is 241. As stated in this verse, devotional service to the Lord is one. Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. And the mind of the devotee is not diverted to many branches. Bahushaka Inantascha Buddhi Vyavasaya Nam. Not diverted to many branches of uncertainties. Vidura's purpose was to be situated in that service to the Lord, wherein one merges undivertedly. He claimed the friendship of Maitreya Muni not because he was Maitreya's son, but because Maitreya was actually the friend of all who have lost their spiritual vision due to material influence. So what was the relationship there? Does anyone know? Prabhupada says here, he claimed the friendship of Maitreya Muni not because he was Maitreya's son. Well, we know that. He was not Maitreya's son. So yes, Vidur. Whose son was Vidur? Does anyone know?
Yes.
Srila Vyasadeva. Yes, yes. And who was the father of Srila Vyasadeva?
Parashar Muni.
Parashar Muni, yes. And what is the relationship of Parashar Muni and Maitreya Muni?
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. So Maitreya was, he learned from, we will read in the next chapter.
Mhm.
He was a disciple of Parashar Muni. So Parashar Muni wrote the Vishnu Purana as well. Yeah, so he comes from that. So that way they are related in one sense because they were like, so Vyasadeva was the father of Vidur, as you said, and as we know, and Maitreya Rishi and Vyasadeva were friends that way. So, but he's clarifying that.
That's true. Yeah, they were friends.
Yeah. So he's clarifying that that Maitreya Rishi was friend of all. So this is asking, you are friend of all. It's not this. It's mitratvat, he says here, because of friendship. So because you are friend of all, please describe them for all those who have lost their vision. It's such an important quality of a sage. of a spiritual master. He has to be a friend to all. Srila Prabhupada was friend to all. Even our Goswamis, also it is, there's one of the verses, Sat Goswami Ashtakam, that they were dear to all. Adhira, adhira, priya karo. They were, whether someone was dhira, so they were going around, like Sanatana Goswami would go, and all the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, they would not live or sleep under one tree under one tree for more than one night. So they were always changing their location. And then they would live in one village. In Braj, there are so many villages. And then they would go from one village to the other village. Or when they would leave one village, all the villages would, get together and they would cry and beg him to not leave. Because he was so kind, so friendly to everyone. He would guide, help everyone. And not necessarily the whole village was asking him lots of philosophical questions. But because, Sanatana Goswami was also a minister. So he had a lot of practical knowledge also. It's not just bookish knowledge. So how to solve problems, real life problems also. So all sorts of, politics or how to run the country or the village or, what problems people might have. All sorts of things he would help people with. And he would be so kind to everyone. So this is the nature of a devotee, is always so kind to everyone. That's why out of compassion, friend means what? Someone who cares for the, for the other side, other friend, other person, who's compassionate, who always is concerned and wants to help. So this is the nature of devotees. So Prabhupada leaving Vrindavan, going to the west, and that's the height of compassion. We can't even, because we've not gone through that, we can't even imagine what it means, what life is there. In Vrindavan, in Radha Damodar, and he went there. It's very difficult for us to fully appreciate. But the Prabhupada disciples, so many of them share that. And, at that age, so how much he was compassionate, how much friendly he was to everyone. Everyone, he would always have something. If you see, he would always be laughing, cracking jokes, and everyone will be so happy with him. So in this context, yes, Vidur, has put so many inquiries and is appealing to him to answer these questions. 41 Sarve Vedascha Yagyascha Tapodhanani Chanaga Jiva Bhaya Pradhanascha Na Kurve Na Kalamapi. This is other quality. O spotless one, your answer to all these questions will grant immunity from material miseries. Such charity is greater than all Vedic charities, sacrifices, penances, etc. Material pangs is like, what is abhaya? Abhaya means fearlessness. Immunity from material pangs. The biggest material pang is fear. We always so fearful. And the biggest advantage of receiving spiritual knowledge is that we become fearless. Immunity from material pangs. No matter who someone is, they may be multi-millionaire, billionaire, they may have all the facilities, they may be kings or queens or whoever they are. From the material perspective, the fear is always hanging. And the fear of enemies, or the own family member may become an enemy, because someone has some opulence, they have naturally become fearful. This is the nature of material life. The saying answers to all these questions will grant immunity from all material miseries, all material fears. Can we imagine like what it means? There's no fear. This is the liberated soul's qualities, they have no fear. So such charity, that's why if someone's fear is gone, like even with the many, many millions, fear is not gone, all miseries, or material miseries also, like birth, death, old age, disease. These miseries are not gone. But when we have the knowledge of the soul, the devotional service, and that is also gone. We get immunity from such. And that's why such charity is greater than all Vedic charities. So whatever Vedic charities we perform, or sacrifices or penances, they may give us better life, they may take us to heavenly planets, they may provide us facility for some time. Yeah, all those things are possible. Our material life can be very, very good. We may have good health. Someone with good karma may have good health. Yeah, have good wealth, good family. Everything is all there. But the problems of life will still remain. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The highest perfectional work of charity is to give people in general immunity from the anxiety of material existence. This can be done only by performing activities in devotional service to the Lord. Such knowledge is incomparable. Cultivation of the knowledge in Vedas, performance of sacrifice, distribution of munificent charities, all together cannot form even a part of the immunity from the pangs of material existence that is gained from devotional service. Neha Brik Manasosti, Atravayo, there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. And so even if you do a little bit of this service, it takes away the biggest fear. That's Prabhupada. Further continues, the charity of Maitreya not only will help Vidur, but due to universal nature, will deliver all others in all times. Thus Maitreya is immortal. As this Bhagavatam was spoken 5,000 years ago, and before that, knowledge was always there. We got lost with parampara. But this knowledge of devotional service is eternal, and whoever is speaking this knowledge also become immortal. They also live eternally with the books and the words. The next verse. Shri Shuka Vacha Saitham Aprishta Purana Kalpa Guru Pradhanena Muni Pradhana Pravruddha Harsho Bhagavad Kathayam Sanchodhitastam Prasannivaha. Translation. Now, Sri Sukadev Goswami has come. The conversation was going on between Vidur and Maitreya, and this was actually Sukadev Goswami answering questions of Parikshit Maharaj. So now he's summarizing. Thus, the chief of the sages, who was always enthusiastic about describing topics regarding the personality of Godhead, began to narrate the descriptive explanations of the Puranas, being so infused by Vidur. He was very much enlivened by speaking on the transcendental activities of the Lord. For great learned sages like Maitreya Muni are always very enthusiastic about describing the transcendental activities of the Lord. Maitreya Muni, being thus invited by Vidur to speak, appeared to be smiling because he actually felt transcendental bliss. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled For the Inquiries of Vidur. So how this, why he was blissful? Because he was inquired by Vidur so nicely, so many questions he asked. And again he says, all these questions, we just read in the 14. I have put all these questions before you with a view to knowing the pastimes of Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With the context, this is not, these questions are not asked to understand the physical aspects, the chemical aspects, but it's all in relation to the pastimes of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's such amazing, so many questions with the relationship with the Lord. That means Maitreya Rishi would get an opportunity to glorify the Lord, discuss about the Lord's pastimes. That will bring happiness both to the speaker or to the hearer, and also because such knowledge becomes eternally available through the parampara. So it brings auspiciousness to everyone. And it rejects, like Srimad Bhagavatam rejects all the Kaitava Dharma, Dharma Pravajita Kaitava Dharma. The Kaitava Dharma, which is the fruitive activities, are all rejected by Bhagavatam. And it brings eternal happiness amongst devotees. So this is 8:35. So I'll probably stop here. Any questions or comments? Sorry, I missed the initial recitations. I could not thank the devotees who recited and read the translation. So retrospectively, thank you so much. So then, if no further comments or questions, maybe we can close here. Shri Mataji, anything else we're doing tonight? It's okay. Thank you so much, devotees. Tara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Chakrapatisya Kripa Sindhu Devache Patitanam Pavanebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your class.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.